Handle your high with Tadayoshi.
Hey, welcome Elijia McShane to the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on my show, man. And you're another one of my Hawaiian brothers.
Hey, bro, it's awesome to be here, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Let's have a kick-ass conversation, baby.
Absolutely. I really appreciate. Like I said, as we were talking earlier before I got started, I like to give all my Hawaiian brothers a little bit of love and stuff like that in any way I can. And so I was, as I was telling you, I was cruising through my newsfeed, which I never scroll. I almost never scroll on like Instagram or news feeds because that's like a time suck. And but I was having to be scrolling and I was like seeing some of your stuff and I saw it several days in a row and I was listening to some of the things you're talking about and it just happened to be some of the same stuff that I talk about, was reading about as well, things about presence, things about mindfulness, all these kinds of these ideas, and they're really close to my heart. As anybody who knows me and sees my stuff, and I write meditations every week, every weekday, and I share those with people, and so they really sound really reminiscent. But tell everybody a little bit about who you are. And now you're in Hawaii. You're on the Big Island, right?
No, I'm in Oahu.
Oh, in Oahu. Okay.
Yeah. So here on Oahu, I'm currently in Honolulu right now, having this conversation at a place called Down to Earth. It's an organic, it's all vegan place that I'm trying to really in the works of seeing if I can be an ambassador for them and produce some health content for them.
Oh, cool. What's it called?
I call it DTE. The whole name is D is Down to Earth.
Oh, Down to Earth. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's an island Whole Foods, but it's all vegan. It doesn't have any meat. It's 100% authentic and it's locally owned. And so I come here almost every single day to have a meal.
Oh, cool.
Just because it's just amazing people, and it's not corporate kind of like Whole Foods, which like I'm not anti Whole Foods, but I mean like pretty much ever since Amazon took it over, the quality of the food and stuff went down.
Really? I haven't kept track of it, but and I don't have a Whole Foods that's near me.
Pennsylvania.
Chicago. I live in Chicago now, but I'll be moving short.
Chicago.
Yeah, I know. I've been living here for the last 2 years because of my girlfriend, and it's been a wonderful experience. But I got to be in sunny places, man. It's calling me, and I suffer in the winters. So I'm going to be moving pretty soon to.
Why? You should come to Hawaii, baby.
Oh well, that's my plan. Eventually, I'm going to retire there. I want to have a place in Kona, and that's where I plan somewhere like that. And then I will probably. But in the meantime, I'll settle for the desert because I love the desert. So I'm going to be moving. I don't know if you know, but I have an identical twin brother, and he's a professor. He just took a new position at Arizona State as a dean, and I'm going to move near him. I'm going to be over there next to him. Pretty soon, and so that's what I'm gonna. So that way I don't have to suffer through shoveling snow and all that stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
not true that, but yeah, no, but I am not about that either, brother. Not about that either. It's a beautiful day today. Check this out. Look at Hawaii.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Look how blessed it is, right? Yeah. So but so like kind of like a background, brother. So I'm half Kanaka Maoli, half Aboriginal Hawaiian, and.
You're one of the real Hawaiian brothers.
Yeah. So half Kanaka Maoli, and all of my family is Aboriginal Hawaiian, and we all grew up on homestead in Papakolea and Kahalu'u here on this island of Oahu, and I was private school my entire life, bro.
Really? So what does that mean over there? Like,
a Catholic school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had private school education all of my life. And I had a phenomenal upbringing overall. Had two hardworking parents, man, who put their all and everything into all of our, just kind of all of their kids, you know. And in the meantime, they kind of suffered overall because two of my parents had a better understanding of investing in their children. And
you mean like education or
just education, life, sports?
No, in Hawaii, it seems like to me. Now you could maybe educate me, but it seems to me that some of the native people, the native Hawaiians who live there, have really gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to some of the resources that are available there, like education and stuff like that.
Oh, massively.
And that's kind of too bad. So
massively bad.
So that
yeah.
So how did that affect you? It sounds like it didn't affect you. It sounds like you were able to escape some of that.
Well, yes and no. I just had the amazing blessing to have parents that, a mom that had upbringing in private school education. The only area was that because of the oppression of the Hawaiian people from the illegal overthrow of our queen in 1893 up until even present day, the Americanization of Hawaiian people in terms of our consciousness and our thoughts has been so heavy that the two of my parents hadn't ever spoke Olalo Hawaii or the Hawaiian language. And two of my grandparents didn't. And their parents didn't. The only one who did is my great grandma, who is my granny, who is actually half Asian, half Hawaiian, and she spoke Olalo Hawaii as her first language.
She's Japanese?
I believe she's Japanese, my granny. Man, I'm pretty sure, but man, I never really had clarity because she's just Hawaiian to us.
Okay.
But she looks like an old Asian grandma.
Because I think my father was born there in Honolulu, grew up there, and from what I understand, because I wasn't raised by that side of the family, but from what I understand, like they all had farms and stuff in Kona, and they were Native Hawaiians and Japanese, and so
yes, because plenty of integration,
right?
Yeah. Because there's plenty of integration in immigration from the 1860s to the 1880s, and so a lot of stuff was just happening, but at the time of the illegal annexation in 1898, in the time of the Spanish-American War, a lot of our educational system was hijacked, and so.
You mean the traditional Hawaiian education?
Our cultural identity, our language.
Yeah.
So for over 80 years, it was made illegal to speak the Hawaiian language.
Really?
Yeah, and so
that's crazy.
So a lot of stuff began to happen in the cultural identity of our people, because the eradication of our identity actually was becoming a reality because of the implementation. Like here's an example. An OG school here, it was called Honolulu High School, big public school in the Hawaiian Kingdom. I believe established in the 1880s. It is, at the time of Americanization, it was changed to President William McKinley High School. And the biggest statue of all statues on Oahu is the statue of President William McKinley holding the annexation papers. And it was a complete fraud, and so a lot of this stuff has only been being exposed for the past 20, maybe 25 years in the school system. But still, a majority of people who are in the baby boomers generation, they're so Americanized that a big disconnection between who they are and who they think they are, from actually being Aboriginal Hawaiians to actually thinking that I'm an American and a Westerner. And that's because of the educational process of basically educating us out of ourselves, how all the African American people had to endure as well. And they're still going through it today.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's from Thailand. She's half Thai, half Chinese, and she calls that what does she call it? Whitewashing.
Yeah, 100% whitewashing. 100%. But it's a part of human history. So
sure.
So like, in essence, like, it isn't really a thing you have to get super duper upset about. All you got to do is just engage in it and see how can we provide a win-win solution for both ends and it be equal. Because inequality is just a massive thing in America, period.
Right. Everybody has, I think there's every group oftentimes has some kind of disgruntled, section in their history, so to speak, and like whether it be African Americans or Spanish Americans or whatever
yes.
And I think, but I always look at the good stuff. So so there's some bad stuff. Yes, I don't like the idea of annexing anything. I don't think you should just take stuff. I totally get why the United States did that. It was totally a military position. But I think but today, that's like history now. So like today, it would be ridiculous to like try to reverse that, because nobody would benefit. And so, so today I look at the good stuff and I think, okay, well, but how do we reclaim some of that history, I think, and how do we reclaim some of that identity, because there's so much value there, I think.
No, 100%.
That's what I would like to see. I'm like, gee, I'm actually thinking about getting involved in learning hula and all these other things, just so I can connect with that part of my heritage. You know, it's so powerful. I hear those damn drums, man, and I get like goosebumps.
Oh, it's powerful, yeah, but big time. No, big time, bro. You know, the hardest part about it is that, so in the 80s, it's called the Hawaiian Renaissance, because it was just at that time where the big immersion or the exposure and explosion of Hawaiian culture began to take place. But at the same time, our political status, it was kept from us. And so this information of our political status as a country, who is the Hawaiian Kingdom, earning our independence in 1843 and carrying our independence to this day, it's been proven that in international law, the Hawaiian Kingdom has never became a part of the United States, ever.
Oh, wow.
Never has. And so, you know, I always ask people that if I can ask them a question, is Hawaii part of the United States, and how? And they say, yes, of course it is, but they cannot ever answer how, you know, and almost 85% of people have no clue that the Hawaiian Islands had been a country, independent on its own, with its own constitution, own government, own House of Assembly, own House of Nobles, and had treaties with over 100 countries around the world. And we still have those treaties active today, you know. So the question is, like, what happened?
Yeah, what did happen? So how do you reconcile that? Just
yeah, and so has a few key people who are key scholars at the University of Hawaii. Has Keanu Shai, Umi Perkins, all these influential educators who have been speaking on behalf of the Hawaiian Kingdom, and who created a provisional government of the Hawaiian Kingdom to just really begin to institute and to hold the United States accountable for all the laws that they have been breaking for 120 years.
Oh, wow.
And so all this stuff is taking like place in international law, action. And so I've kind of been in this space a little bit.
Is that what did you study it? Did you study this in college or something? Is that what you seem to be really educated on it?
Well, I just study.
Okay.
You know, I do not have a college degree, but I speak at colleges.
That's okay. You're well informed, and it's near and dear to your heart, and I think that's the best way to go about it, right?
But definitely, because you know, this whole idea in Hawaiian consciousness is kava mahope, and in kava mahope, is translated into English as future. Yeah, and so
as an intent.
Yeah. So if I would speak of in the future, it would be called kava mahope. But if you translate it literally, like in transliteration of kava mahope, it means the time of the past, because our future is our past. And so to be able to create our future, we have to examine and rediscover all of the beauty of our past, so that our reality in the present day can effectively create our future accurately and not blindly.
Sure. That makes total sense. Instead of creating by default versus like actively creating what you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I'm really involved in like law of attraction and like under these understandings, metaphysics and stuff like that. And I integrated my own sort of brand of spirituality when it comes to my own sense of who I am and in the universe. And so that's what I picked up on when I was listening to a lot of the stuff that you were, because they seem to be really similar to the kinds of beliefs that I have. How have you married some of these things together? Because I hear you talk about meditation and presence and other things as well. And you even talked about intention and awareness. And I'm like, wow, man, this guy's speaking my language. So I'm like, what? So how have you married that with your understanding of like being Hawaiian and the islands? Because it's something that is high interest to me personally.
Oh, brother, I tell you right now, you know, you really know a person who is a high level being through their consciousness and awareness of these things, because everything in the physical especially in the Western world, is what we're brought up to live by, you know. But if you go just back to Aboriginal thought, to the thoughts of our ancestors, Kava Mohope, you begin to realize that everything in the physical, all these teachings of things in capitalism, imperialism, things in the physical, are really new ideas in comparison to all these thoughts that we're talking about. And so it goes in alignment with how come human beings are so disconnected from themselves, and how come human beings are destroying the place that we've been blessed to live on. And we're completely destroying everything. And that's because our consciousness has been so connected to what's in front of us, but that it has caused us to be blind to what's in that thing, you know, to what's in everything, the energy, you know. So being kind of energy focused, energy consciousness, in comparison to being all about the physical consciousness and seeing things how they are on the outside, but being able to see the makeup of things and the energy and the intention behind it, you know. And if we can see it in that lens, everything in the world changes for us, everything. And people who have been on this path, including you and I, we can attest to that, because you cannot really speak on these things in a confident manner unless you really went through that path of rediscovering who you are in a spiritual sense, you know. And so, you know, if I speak on these things, I try to keep like God out of it, or spirituality out of it.
I try to do the same. There's too much baggage that's associated with it.
It's too much preconceived notions that like, if I speak of spirituality, and I immediately kind of introduce with I believe in God, then everybody thinks I'm a Christian. You know, and then which I've been raised as a Christian all of my life, and had been training to be a pastor for 2 years.
Oh, really? So see, we have another thing in common. I went to seminary for graduate school.
I trained to be a pastor for 2 years. Yeah, man. So, but you know, I just began to ask the right questions, like how come?
That's right.
Like, how come if Christianity is the way? How come for over 1,000 years the most oppressive and destructive people on this planet have been Christians consistently? How come you go? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying, what answers did you come up with? Because there's so many. I mean, you could take it from many different perspectives, but I'm curious because I was asking the same kinds of questions. I always feel that truth resonates at the highest frequency, and you can feel that. And some of the things that I was experiencing growing up in the Christian church, I grew up very much in a Protestant Christian church. My grandfather was an elder. I was, and I ended up studying religion and philosophy, getting degrees in it, and then went on to graduate school and seminary, studying theology and ethics and things. And these are the questions that I was asking, and this is the reason why I was studying it, because it was of great interest to me. I wanted to live a life that I felt was worthy of my time here. Noble.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
And so, and I don't know why I felt that way. I always have felt this way. I don't mind making the sacrifices in my life to accomplish that. But some of the things that I came up with had nothing to do, like much of religious perspective. This is what I came up with. This is just my perspective. Much of religious perspective, much of the religions that I experienced, those are all sort of man-made constructs. And so they're not really true spirituality. They're a form of it. They're inspired by, but they're not really. True spirituality has to come from the person, an individual. It comes from this is my take, that true spirituality is your personal connection with who you are in this universe, the greater whole, the larger self, the God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. The vernacular changes from you know, but it's the same essence, which is there's something greater.
Exactly.
So,
and that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. So, what kind of answers did you come up with as you walked your way through that path?
Oh, brother, I tell you right now, you know what, the space that just ignited all of this with me was that, as you are, and as all of these guys on this path, I believe all of us have one true desire, is to live the most amazing life possible, and it's because our aim is in alignment to that. Every time we feel out of alignment, we know when we're out of alignment.
We know it. Yeah, absolutely.
And we just know that this is, you know, I have people in my life who are telling me that this is right, but in my na'au, in my intuition, in my core,
my gut,
I do not feel this is correct.
Right.
You know, I just do not. But I'm trying to convince myself that it is. That I'm going through this path that is painful. And you begin to like really just kind of ask yourself like, wow, I'm gonna start hurting a lot of feelings because if I come out against this, which you cannot always do that, you can't come out against it in terms of a defensive way, which I've come to see. You know, you just have to allow people to walk their path because everybody's on different stages of their walk.
That's right. Absolutely. 100%, man. I think I picked the same kind of thing I picked up on as I was walking my journey. It's kind of funny. We walked very similar paths in this respect. The question that came up, it was when I was 17 years old. I remember I was looking to be baptized. I hadn't been baptized yet. And I remember I went to my aunt, I was raised by mostly women because my father was out of the picture when I was 1. And I didn't really have my mother didn't get remarried till much later. And so I asked my aunt, my grandmother, or my aunt, my mother to help guide me through that process. And they said, we can't. And I said, why? I said, because the church doesn't allow it. You have to be instructed by a man. You're of age. I was 17. You're of age. And you have to be, and I was like, man, the church said it was what was supposed to be done. But like you said, my gut, internally, everything felt wrong about it. Like, you're not good. Like, I thought, like, you're not good. Like, you raised me, you loved me, who I am, what I believe is everything that you taught me, not the church, but you. And I thought, wow, you can't help me in this process because somebody I don't know says that it's not that. So that was my big quandary. And I thought, wow, man, I experienced the same kind of visceral, like, it made me ask those questions. Okay, well, I got to figure this out. You know, like, I got to figure this out. Like, why do I feel this way? So, and what I came up with was that maybe I needed to follow my own path. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that anybody within the church that I once followed or anybody else's religion is wrong. It's not that I could not in good conscience walk that path and feel like I was doing what was right for me, so to speak. Like this huge things in October, maybe about 2 years ago. Like, some big stuff began to happen to me with some people coming into my life, you know, and who are part of the church but had a different perspective, and all these different teachers began pouring into me in a different way, that I began to see that how can you put the omnipotent, almighty energy, creative source that lives and sustains everything, how can you put it in one box? Exactly. How can you do that? And you package the box, you wrap the box, and you tell people that this is the only present out there that is for you. And so I was like, wait, but the omnipotent source can never be boxed. All you're doing is boxing yourself. Right. And so limit yourself. That's right. Yeah, just boxing yourself. And so a thing that I've come to see, because here our Christian history in the Hawaiian Islands is a tough one, because all of the guys who were involved on the Committee of Safety, who now what's the Committee of Safety? So the Committee of Safety, it was comprised of Caucasian men who were plotting for about a decade to overthrow the Queen. Okay. Or to just overthrow the entire executive branch of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Now, what were they after? Their reward would have been resources? Okay, two things. So access to resources, huge control over the imports. Okay. Gotcha. Money. And our biggest export at that time, it was sugarcane. Of course. You know, the Hawaiian Islands had been the biggest exporter of sugarcane in the world at that time. You know, and so people
from different countries have been coming in because it's an addictive drug. At that time, of course, people didn't know, right? But it was the drug of the day. It was sugarcane,
absolutely.
And so everybody was interested in being an alliance to the Hawaiian Islands to get this product out into their countries, and so these guys were after the control and the positioning in the military, but it was because of huge economic benefit because of their exports.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and who was the head of the Committee of Safety, who was a part of the Queen's cabinet, and he was a judge on the Hawaiian Supreme Court. His name was Dole.
Oh, like Dole pineapples.
Dole pineapple. So the kind of owner of the Pineapple Corporation, his older cousin, he became the president of the Republic of Hawaii, who overthrew the Queen. And so he invited his cousin to come on down to open up a business in agriculture, and he decided on the pineapple. And the pineapple is not a Hawaiian fruit; it's a foreign fruit.
Okay.
But it was planted here, and in under 10 years, he owned 85% of the market share of pineapples in the world.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it wasn't a Hawaiian fruit.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite fruits.
and he hired Hawaiians and immigrants who were here on island, because being a Hawaiian is not ethnic. Being a Hawaiian is a nationality, like being American is.
Right.
And so all that stuff began to take place, Rob. But in terms of Christianity in the Hawaiian Islands, in 1820 is when all of the missionaries, who are the Calvinist missionaries, they arrived, and they began to introduce Christianity into our chiefly system. So to all of the chiefs first, and to make their way down. And
was that that was a way to control through?
Well, at first it was actually pretty good intentions, but human beings.
Yeah.
Especially at that time of empire, of imperialistic time, where it was all about that. How can we infiltrate in any way? And the best way to infiltrate in terms of a European context is through Catholicism and Christianity. And that's what happened. And so everything began to get undone. And all the children of those missionaries who came are the people that overthrew our queen. And so it's a lineage. And so a lot of Hawaiians, they literally hate the white man. They absolutely hate him, because of all of the things that have taken place, which, hey, I explain this to people all the time. You cannot blame them, because if a man came into your house, took all of your things, and took your kids, enslaved them, and took your wife and raped her right in front of you, how would you feel about that man?
Not too good.
Exactly. And so kind of in that time, it's hard to be spiritual.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Hard to be spiritual in that time, because has people out there who are way more animalistic than human. They're way more animalistic, and they're operating out of animal instincts and not out of who they are, their higher self. But the ego is was just taken over, and that's what happened, bro. And so I can't blame Hawaiians who are in opposition to any outside power, because a result of this outside power coming in and us being open and inviting and spreading aloha to them has been the clear destruction of our entire land base.
Yeah.
It's just been a destruction. It's like 100 years ago, Tad, we could feed all of our people, and our population in the 1850s, from 1810 to the 1850s, it declined almost 80% of Aboriginal Hawaiian population because of the introduction of diseases. And there's people that say that it's intentional, and there's people that say that it was unintentional. But all around the world, if you look at it's a common pattern.
Well, yeah, whenever
just eliminating people.
Yeah, it's this common sort of thread with imperialism. So when it happened to a lot of the Native Americans, to the Mexican Americans, it happened to all these different cultures.
It's all systematic.
Yeah, and I don't think it was done intentionally. I think that when it comes to disease, that is, I think that some of that disease stuff, man, you go to a different part of the world and you're going to get different bacteria, different viruses,
Yes,
different things.
everything is
and
different.
so, and we're all
sick automatic.
Yeah, we're prepared. The local demographic is prepared for the diseases and bacteria there. When you introduce something new, man, it's probably not. Some people are not going to fare so well, and some people.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, no.
I mean, we almost wiped out the Native Americans when the English came to the United States, to the continental United States. Yeah, with colds and flus and I forget some other things too, but it was like pretty decimating for some of those people.
And so, you know, it was a real unfortunate kind of unfolding of history, how things took place, but hey.
So moving forward into today, like what's going on right now that's creating a good path, a good future?
Okay. So a lot of things are taking place in terms of education, and just in terms of cultural activity.
Are they adding more of this stuff back into the schools, like some tradition?
Yeah. So from the 80s, a big thing in the 80s in the Hawaiian Renaissance, it was the introduction of Hawaiian immersion schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's being immersed in Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And so it's Hawaiian education in Hawaiian thought in Hawaiian language. In the 1800s, the 1800s, everybody in the Hawaiian Islands spoke Aloha Hawaii. If you're white, black, Asian, didn't matter what you were. Everybody spoke the Hawaiian language because it's our country's language. It's a national language. Right. And so had English immersion schools at that time, like Punahou School, Iolani School. These institutions were English immersion, right? To help the Hawaiian people to get access to English education, to have to kind of expand in their kind of educational influence in business, political spaces. In the future, so that people could speak English and Hawaiian. Today, because of the eradication of the Hawaiian language, everybody speaks English. And now there's Hawaiian immersion schools to revive the Hawaiian language and the Hawaiian culture. So all of that stuff,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. So has all of that stuff is continuously on an elevated climb, and it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to put my kids in Hawaiian immersion school. I'm going to start a Hawaiian immersion school to put my kids in.
That's awesome. So is the Hawaiian language a living language today? I don't know this.
It is a living language. Yeah.
So it's okay, good.
But it was reinvented. So the Olelo Hawaii of today is westernized.
Okay.
It's kind of westernized. Yeah, but the only people that actually speak the original Hawaiian language is on the island of Ni'ihau.
Okay.
So it's off the coast of Kauai.
Right. It's a very small island.
Smallest island. Okay. And because it's a privately owned island.
Oh. Do you have to have a certain degree of blood quantum to live there or something?
To actually be there and to be a person on the island and to live there, you have to be pure Hawaiian. Because it's a conservation island of the Hawaiian people. So if I'm not mistaken, the population of Ni'ihau is only about, I think, under 800, 800 to 1,000 people, or even less than that. But almost all pure Hawaiians.
Can you go visit?
It has invitation only.
Oh, okay. So it's just, okay.
It's a real conservation island.
Do they live traditionally, or do they live like everybody else?
So it has no electricity there.
Oh, man, I would love to go there.
Oh, 100%.
I would.
But who wouldn't love to go there?
Yeah. I often dreamed growing up and also as an adult, I would think to myself, especially when I go visit Hawaii, I'd look up at the stars or look out in the ocean. I just always fall in love when I do this. And I think, oh, man, I wonder what my ancestors, this is what they saw. And yes. I wanted to feel that.
That again.
Yeah.
And you can, it just takes, especially on Oahu, you have a lot of people who are disconnected on Oahu, and even though me individually, I have to be in the aina more, in the land more, and all that stuff. Being in the ocean more, head to go fish more. I have to do that more. I do understand that. The interesting is, the interesting thing is though, is that because I've been on this path of conscious development, I can create a state of consciousness wherever I'm at.
Absolutely.
Through just activity of imagination and spirit, but it's harder to connect for the average person in a place kind of like Oahu. But if you go to Kauai, you will see a lot more people who are more spiritually inclined. If you head to places like Hawaii Island or Maui, you'll come across a lot more people who are more connected and aren't too involved in the capitalistic space of America.
You think that just being out there in nature, especially it's because I think that being closer to the ocean for some reason, and also and when you're connected with nature, when you're not so bombarded with everything else. Being here in Chicago, it's not the most ideal place for me, at least, to be able to connect with my. So I have practices. I have meditation practices, and I have mindfulness practices throughout my day, as well as how I want to interact with people. And so but that keeps me. But man, when I'm out in the ocean or I'm out, it's easy. It's so much easier.
Yeah, because it's our natural habitat, and that's the thing where in the aina, each person. So here's kind of a concept called aloha aina, and so all aina means is environment, land, but it's our entire environment is what our aina is, and aloha is our connection of pure love and divinity to who we are and to everything on the outside. So our aloha aina is our divine connection to our environment. And because we as human beings come out of the earth.
How do you spell aina? I-N-A?
It's okina, or apostrophe, an opposite apostrophe, a kahako over the a, like there's a line over the a.
Right.
I-N-A.
I-N-A, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And so
I like that. I like that notion. It's I've been trying to find words to describe this thing that you're talking about. Yeah. It's exactly that. I felt it from the time I was born.
Yes. It's a connection to our land base, a connection to our environment is an immediate connection to ourselves, because we come out of the earth.
We're all connected.
Our bodies come out of the earth. We're all connected energetically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if I go into a park, a place, I always make sure it could be a cool thing to implement, but I always make sure to head to a tree that I connect with.
And you ground yourself,
and I give aloha to that tree. So I go head to that tree, and I take a deep breath, and I feel the mana out of that tree. And I ask them, and in a heart of gratitude, I hand that tree all of my energy in thanks for having me in that space. Because if that tree is there before I was, then that's an ancestor. That's an ancestral tree. And so who am I to come into the house of this tree and act any kind?
Right. Tell people what mana is.
Okay, so mana had been internationally made kind of known because of The Rock.
Right.
He's
from Hawaii.
Always speaks. Yes, he always speaks of mana. Mana. I love him so much, man. I can't wait to meet The Rock, man. I'm gonna meet him soon, and I'm gonna be in movies with him soon.
There you go. I do too.
But how I define mana, well, how each of our kupuna or ancestors have actually defined mana was its energy of life. So everything has mana. Okay. In Star Wars, it's called the Force.
Right.
Yeah, called the Force. In Eastern Asian thought, it's called chi.
Right. The energy, your energy.
Yes, energy. Everybody carries this.
Yes.
And to our human eye, it's invisible, of course. But everybody knows that if you can see through that, you can pick up on the energy frequencies
right.
of every single existing being. And that's what mana is. And so has good and bad mana. Yeah. And how I define mana is the creative energy, field and source and force that maintains and sustains and creates all things all at the same time, and that can work in your favor or not work in your favor depending on how you choose to be a channel.
Absolutely.
Of that mana.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. I love that.
Yeah,
that's an awesome. Yeah. Because all cultures have something similar. I think.
Yeah.
I think as we've gotten into this age, the last probably 80 to 100 years, where the scientific age and where we're really, really describing things scientifically and in certain language, the misconception is that other languages are invalid. And so,
yes.
Which is completely ridiculous to me. I think there's many ways to understand or describe the way this universe works, and I think it resonates with me to talk about energy and frequency, but also mana and these kinds of concepts. So it's kind of cool. I like that though. I really like that.
Yeah, no. To kind of just add to that, bro, is that I completed a video on my Instagram, I think about a week ago, on how to rid yourself of labels, and it connects with our conscious understanding of spirituality, because it's in the verse of this old Eastern Asian book that I know you probably heard of. The Tao Te Ching.
The Tao Te Ching, yes.
And in the first verse of the Tao, it says a Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao.
That's right. That's right. That's called labeling, brother.
Yeah. That's all that it's saying, is that as at the moment that you choose to put a name on this source, you've already lost it.
You've already lost it. You've limited it.
Yeah, and so if we as human beings in all these different cultures began to just keep our terms and our labels to ourselves, yes, then everybody can begin to connect, because everybody just describing it in their own cultural lens.
Yeah, there was I wrote a paper in college, and I remember I was just talking with somebody about it, my ex-wife, who helped me, she read it, and the thing that stuck out to her was the thing that stuck out to me, and it's always been there for me, because it changed me when I wrote this paper, because I was talking about, the title of the paper was The Ineffable Qualities of God, and ineffable means indescribable. So it means that you in the whole paper, that's what the whole paper was about, that once you do what you're saying, once you start to put a label or define it and say this is what, even things using pronouns, it puts limitations. It starts to the mere act of describing is putting boxing. You put boxes around.
It's a box on it.
It's a box, and so now and that's by nature. It's not. It can't be boxed.
Yes.
It's indescribable. It's ineffable. You can't do it.
You and you can't even attempt to describe it. You can do your best, right? But it can never truly be explained, understood in its entirety. And that's all religion does. They try to understand the creative source, or the Tao, Allah,
right,
or the Jewish God, or whatever it is. Everybody tries to understand it in their own perspective, and then they box it and package it, which is completely fine, because it has helped millions, if not billions, of people in history to have a connection to the source.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that one size fits all.
Exactly. The way I used to tell people when I was in graduate school was, if something has power for you in your life, no matter what it is, some concept, some religion, then use it. Go for it. But don't think that it necessarily is going to have that same power for anybody else.
Yes.
But that's the great thing I think about religious perspective, about spirituality, is that we are given the latitude in this life to discover what really resonates with each of us, and empowers us to do what we want to do in this life, to live that unbelievable life that everybody wants to live. So now to switch gears just a little bit. I love it. I could talk about this stuff forever. So
yes. Let's go.
So tell everybody about you. You just bless you. You just You just competed in which show was it?
The Ikakika Classic.
That's by Alan Ichino's show.
Yes.
I know Alan. He's a good guy. I love him to death. As well as there's another guy on the island there who I know. His partner.
Him and Chris Faldo.
Chris Faldo, yes. Awesome dude. Great bodybuilder. Awesome fella.
Absolutely.
Wonderful guy. I love them both. I've been meaning to make it out there to go to their gym. They've been inviting me for years. I just haven't been able to get out there yet, but I will. But how was the show? Tell me about the show. And
So it was an interesting show. Kind of overall, I haven't competed in close to 5 years, and so I just decided about 8 weeks out to compete because I just got back in the gym. I got back in the gym intentionally in March.
So now you said you haven't competed for like 5 years. Why did you take the break? Why did you take the break?
So from age 15 to 20, I entered 8 shows. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I was competing pretty frequently, and I was on the rise in the sport here in Hawaii. I'd been a teenager in open, and I was beating all of the grown men.
Wow.
And so had a presence here, kind of in the islands in bodybuilding, but it's the process of just human development. It was real ego driven in spaces, but I was always a person of aloha, but after the Paradise Cup in 2014, I hired Milos.
Okay.
And I worked with Milos in my off season, and he took me to just completely new levels. Just on top of his insulin protocols and all that crazy stuff that he's just absolutely amazing at. At 21 years old, in April of 2015, I was kind of on path. I had a plan to actually enter into the Junior USAs in 2016 and compete with the big dogs and have a possibility of earning my pro card because I had the potential to actually do so. And so I was pushing the limit.
Were you bigger at that time?
Bro. So in April, April 2015, I started my off season at 205.
Okay.
On October 2nd, I was 255.
Oh man, Milos did a job on you.
No, but me, I've been blessed to have, in terms of bodybuilding, I've been blessed to have genetics for huge growth, especially being a Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I just eat and I grow. And so I hit 255 in October, but I began to get aware that, man, I didn't like how I was heading. I didn't feel good. I was all of my hormones were completely off. And at this time, I wasn't really a student of bodybuilding. In terms of the eating and the chemical side, I was just a student of bodybuilding on the training side, because I just love training. Just like all bodybuilders, we just love training, period. And so I began to see, like, I feel a little bit off. I'm in this job that I'm at, and I began to ask myself, man, if I begin to apply myself in business how I'm applying myself in bodybuilding, I could become a multimillionaire in 1 year. And I'm in bodybuilding and big as hell and impressive, but I'm broke as hell.
Right.
And unhappy. And I'm like, man, there has to be a better way. And so, but me being an extreme personality at that time, I just quit bodybuilding. And I stopped completely. I deleted all of my bodybuilding pictures because I needed to literally detach. And so I stayed out of the gym for 3.5 years. I didn't step a foot in the gym.
That must have been hard.
At first it was, but I had to go through that process to have a discovery of who I was outside of bodybuilding, because I made the mistake of identifying who I was as being a bodybuilder.
So who was your new identity after that?
So I had to have a discovery of who I was as a human. You know, like, who am I? Just kind of outside of all labels.
And who was that? Who did that become?
And so, yeah, man, you know, I got into business again. In Hawaiian culture, I began to do these things, but I was on this constant spiritual path, you know, until I came to a realization about a year and a half ago that I'm a divine human being who has the honor to become all things to all men. And so as things are appropriate, I can become it. You know, it's like I'm not in a box anymore. So if I have to be an MC, a DJ, a spokesperson of something, I can do it. If I want to become a classic bodybuilder and become an IFBB pro, I can do it. I can turn it on and off. If I want to be an entrepreneur, I can do it. But that's not who I am.
Right.
I am one. I'm an offspring of the divine source as a divine human being. I'm two. After that one right there, I'm a Kanaka. I'm a Hawaii. And I'm an offspring of my Hawaii. Two. Three, I'm anything that I can be in the given moment.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, one of the things that struck me, and I think it's beginning to have resonance with me, is this idea that you were talking about the Aloha aina,
Yes.
and this connection between the geography.
Yes.
I've always felt that there's something there to that. I've never really done a lot of like research on it yet, and I put some thought into it. But what I'm coming to some awareness of is that we all intuitively, I think, have a connection with some geography, with some place, some
Yes.
Some people call it their nationality, whatever. But whatever you want to call it, there's a connection, and we're from that.
Yes.
So especially when you have the benefit of somebody like yourself or myself who is predominantly something, because we have a lot of mixed races and stuff, when you're predominantly something, then I remember going to Hawaii the first time. I was born in California, and I remember going to Hawaii the first time when I was an adult. And I remember coming back, I was so excited. I was on vacation. I came back and I called my brother because I'm really close to my twin brother. I'm identical to him. And I said, dude, bro, you got to go to Hawaii. I said, you're going to come back and you're going to tell me the same thing I'm about to tell you right now. When you go there, it feels like home.
It feels like home.
I said, it feels, I've told people this and it gives me goosebumps. I'm like, you don't understand. It's not because it's a nice place. I've been to nice places.
No,
it's something else. It's spiritual.
So I'll kind of unpack that for you, my dog. Okay. and so because everything has energy of different levels. Every single place is energy of different levels. Like how you feel in Hawaii, well, how you feel just on Oahu and how you feel on the Big Island is different.
Yes, absolutely.
And how you feel on Oahu and how you feel in California is different because every place has a different energetic frequency.
Absolutely.
You know? This has this awesome teachings. It's on YouTube. Have you ever heard of a guy called Cryon?
Cryon? No. What does he talk about?
Okay. So it's a channeling station. The individual who is a channel of Cryon, his name is Lee Carroll, and all Cryon is.
I have seen him. I've seen him, yes, but I don't know much a lot. But keep going. I'm sorry.
And so he actually speaks of how all around the earth it actually carries. He calls it a magnetic grid.
There's like a field.
A magnetic grid.
Right.
Here, yes. That there absolutely is. You know, you call it the atmosphere, stratosphere, whatever you want to call it. But the entire energy field around it, you know, is there. And so, but every single different place on this planet has a different electrical grid. It's like being a Hawaiian, being a Kanaka Maoli ethnically as a human being in my body. It doesn't always mean that I'll have the essence and the energetic connection to my land base as a Kanaka. Because has a lot of Hawaiians who move out of here and they're completely fine with it. You know, and they connect with something else. Yeah, they head to Oregon.
Right.
Or they head to California and they stay there. It's like an older sister of mine, Ashley, which I absolutely love to death. Tika, I love you so much. She loves California, and she's been in California since 2003, but she always knows her home is Hawaii, but her essence has adapted to the energy of California.
It's almost like harmonics. It's like
it's harmonics. That's exactly what it is.
There's kind of funny how you mentioned this, because it's exactly, I totally get it. Even something that I've often believed for many years. So I've struggled because, like, my first wife, my second wife, and many of my friends would always criticize me, especially going through college and when I was an early adult, because I'm not an early riser. Okay, I'm not an early riser. I never like getting up that early. I'm just not like this, and I'm a stay up late. That's just the way I did all my papers in college late, early in the morning or late. But when I track it to the time zone in Hawaii, whenever I go there, I'm up at 5:30, and I'm early. It's like I'm tuned right into it. Like I never even have to adjust myself. It's just like boom. Right? It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, I really feel connected. Like. It's hard. It's really. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, because I've told this to people, and many people don't get it. They don't, because they don't have that.
It's awareness, and that's really all it is, right? It's just heightened awareness, and how I try to explain to people who I pick up, because like half of my week is actually doing Uber, so I always do Uber.
Awesome.
And I meet amazing people, but I always explain to them that if you can describe the energy of Hawaii, because oftentimes I come across them that they're like, man, I just can't describe it, man. It just feels different here. I go, okay, how's this description? Just a little bit easier. How you felt if you're home, if you head on a trip or something for 2 to 3 weeks, and you come back home and you head to your grandma's house, and she has open arms just at the front door for you, having a hot meal ready for you. That's what Hawaii feels like. And they go, that's exactly what Hawaii feels like. And then I tell them, like, yes, because Hawaii, in our creation story, it's a part of our creation story, has as Sky Father, who is Wakea. Earth Mother, her name is P.A.P.A. It just Papa, Hanaumoku. She's our Earth Mother. Earth Mother and Sky Father came together and had Star Mother, who was Ho'ohoku Kalani. Ho'ohoku Kalani and Sky Father had a baby. Okay? So Star Mother and Sky Father had a baby. His name was Haloa Nakalau Kapilili. And Haloa was stillborn. And he was put in the earth, and he became Kalo, or in all the other places around the world, Taro. Has anybody ate
poi
before? Poi.
Tastes like cardboard.
That's kalo. That's kalo. Well, if eaten in the way of the westernized, in all the retail stores, yes. But if you eat it how our ancestors eat it, Dad, you would absolutely love it.
Really?
And it's a superfood, and it has been proven to be, if all the human beings on this planet had to choose one food to thrive on in Oceania, just to live on, one food, it would only be one food in that category, because it has all of our essential amino acids in it. It's kalo.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, well,
yeah.
I should know that. I'm Chad the Diet Coach. I don't know. And I'm Hawaiian.
And so he was put in the ground to actually be food for all of creation. And then Sky Father and Star Mother had another baby, and his name was Haloa, who was the first man. And he was put on the planet. In other words, Earth Mother is his grandmother. That's his grandmother. Yeah. And so us as human beings in Hawaii, who have our consciousness that is connected to our land base, it's a feeling as us connecting to our grandmother, our tutu, because that's what it is. That's our grandmother who takes care of us, who has unconditional love for us. It's not like our mothers all the time. They like kick our ass sometimes, like they're angry with us. But our grandmothers have a different feeling towards us. You know, it's like unconditional.
Kind of funny.
Taking care of us.
It's ironic because it's ironic because I actually also had a very special relationship with my grandmother.
No, I love my grandmother. Yeah. You know, and if you speak to my mom, her grandkids are her everything. How she treats her, like, she takes off of work intentionally just to spend time with her grandkids just because an opportunity arises. You know, she hardly ever did that for us. But it's because of the different connection.
Yeah.
Having a grandparent and a grandchild, and that's our connection, us Kanaka Maoli. That's our connection to our Hawaii. So me as a Hawaiian, I never did ever have any idea or thought to live outside of Hawaii. Never did. You
know, that was kind of funny you say that, because my father, who was born in Honolulu, my mother would tell me, because I'd never really talked to him or met him, but my mother would tell me that that was his big dream. Grew up in Honolulu, he went to university there, and then when he was done, all he wanted to do was get off the island and move to California and marry a farm girl. And so he did. My mother was an Oregon farm girl. And but he was actually world serving champion in Honolulu in 1959.
Wow!
And I bear his name, Tadayoshi.
Wow, beautiful.
But he didn't want to be on the island anymore. That was his big dream. He wanted to go out there and he raced race cars and he built engines, and that was his profession. So he wanted to get off and go to California and do that thing in Southern California, and that's exactly what he did. And so that's what he did. But I don't think he felt that kind of connection. My guess is but for whatever reason, man, I got it, because every time I go, it's like I know I got to be there. And but it's also made me want to connect deeper with that side of my heritage, learn about it, understand it. I have not been able to talk to somebody who's been really quite as well versed as you are spiritually. Because I don't want just the history. I want the spiritual connection. Because to me that means, I got excited when I don't know how you feel about it, because I heard there was mixed feelings about the movie Moana. I took my daughter to see it, and I told her, and we went to see it like 3 times. I bought the movie because just watching some of the movie in the beginning, they have the song where he's talking to his daughter. I'm sitting there in tears in the fucking theater going, and it was always the same phrase when he says, he's talking about that everything that we do and everything that we grow, we share with each other. It's all here for us all. I'm like, man.
Beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. No, brother, I tell you right now that, bro.
Dude, I'm getting all teary-eyed right now.
No, dude, I'm telling you right now that, man. Every time that I come across any of those principles of being a human, of being a good human, because I try to explain to people that if you do anything in your life, if you have an objective every single day, your main objective should, one, be a phenomenal human.
Yeah.
Just be a phenomenal human being. And that is really all you have to worry about, is being a great human being. And when you can be a great human being, then great things will come into your life.
That's right. That's it. It's the definition. Simple.
Yeah, just be a great human being. And that's why, you can have all these movies, which it was a great movie. I dig Moana. It was culturally mixed up.
Right. I knew there was some. There was
had
some
Tahitian stuff in it. Had Hawaiian stuff in it. Her dad had been a different kind of Polynesian. It was all kind of mixed, but it was all good because all of us Polynesians, we come out of the same canoe. We come out of the same place.
Right.
And so all of us, you see, it comes back to labels. It comes back to labels that all of us are one. It doesn't matter if we're black, white, Polynesian, brown, caramel, baby. All of us have the same essence of being a human. It's just that there are specific people out there who have been blessed to have higher levels of awareness in their being, just higher levels of awareness. But to take that higher level of awareness and to put it on a pedestal, then that becomes a little bit egotistical and destructive.
Yes. I agree. I really loved the movie, and it helped me to remind me that there's so much that I would like to learn. about myself, and that's the wonderful beauty of this life, in my opinion. Like
you will, brother.
I know. I absolutely know. I know I'm destined to make my way back. I almost bought a business years ago in Kauai. It's one of my favorite islands. I love Kauai. I like the country feel. It was a wedding video business where I would shoot wedding videos for people.
Wow.
Yeah, and commercials, local commercials and stuff. Some people from California had moved there. They started this business. It was the most successful wedding video business on the island at the time. And they were selling it. They wanted to move back to California, and I was gonna buy it. But my ex-wife at the time, she felt like she might get a little little island fever, and so we didn't do it. And so it was but I was this close. But you never know. I mean, and when I went, I remember going there. I remember talking to some of the local people there, and they were like, "You should run it," because they knew about my family. And I don't really have a lot of connection with that side of the family, but I'd like to. But I thought, man, I know that somewhere down the road, I am destined. That my desire within me is to come back and contribute to the Native Hawaiian people who are this place that I feel a connection with.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Add value.
Yes.
So I will do this.
You absolutely will, brother. Bro, dude, in probably maybe 2 to 3 months, I'll probably be hosting an optimization camp for all kinds of people, like a big optimization camp of maybe like 100 to 150 people. And I'm gonna have 2 people who I'm gonna fly down possibly to teach and to speak. And you are on the list, baby.
Oh man, I appreciate that. What is tell me what an optimization camp is like. What's it about?
So in the optimization camp is going to be it's actually going to be 3 days. Have a spiritual day. Well, so it's on our first day. It's emphasis on all physiology.
Okay.
Right. So how the body works, how to train the body correctly.
Oh, nice.
For high performance, and eating. Aspects of nutrition, how to plan your day correctly, and so optimization there, and then on 2 is mental capacity, and so all of mental development, how to get on a personal development plan, how to teach people about personal development, how to overcome all personal barriers, and then on the 3rd day we close it out with complete spirituality, and it's cultural spirituality and all that stuff. Man,
I am all in. Just tell me, I am all in. If you whatever help you need. I am all in. This sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah, and it's not here yet, brother. You know that all the things that I'm currently working on with Hawaiian Gold TV, speaking in Kingdom Health, and all this stuff. All these things are not in Hawaii yet. They or if it is in Hawaii, it's real small. It's really in its early stages. And so everything that I'm doing, man, and I'm also producing music right now.
So, wow, that's cool. Like what kind of music?
R&B, funk.
Nice. I like that. I'm really big. Everyone who knows me, they know I love music. I love going to the festivals. I go to like all the EDM festivals. I love EDM stuff, man. Especially anything really, but especially I like trance stuff. But that's just me personally. But I'll listen to anything that I can move to. Anything that makes me feel good. Anything with a high frequency. I like it. That's all I want. I mean, so I'm down, man. Like, hey, well, man, I can feel it. There's some good stuff coming down. What is it? So tell me, I was going to ask you, I hear you say Hawaiian Gold a lot. Like, tell me what that is. Like, what?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it. So, Hawaiian Gold is a few things. It's a nickname that I was called to kind of have a brand with in classic bodybuilding.
Oh, okay.
So.
Is that that's like your moniker?
It's in the golden era.
Oh, okay.
But Hawaiian Gold.
Every time I hear it, man, I think of like bronzing solutions and shit. Because because I think of the sunshine. I think of like Hawaiian sunshine and like.
No. It's all things upful, and so it's all things to help us to improve into a higher level human being, because it's it's GOLD, it's gold. And so, like, say in his example, if I'm speaking on insight and wisdom, that's gold. That's Hawaiian gold.
Okay.
If I'm teaching on all kind of different things in health and nutrition, that's Hawaiian gold. And then if I pull a front double bicep, you're looking at Hawaiian.
The Hawaiian gold, baby. I love it.
I love it. You're funny, right?
So that's so you're using that as a platform to also do like Hawaiian Gold TV. Is that what it is?
Yeah. And so on Hawaiian Gold TV, it's a human optimization channel that I'm kicking off here.
Man, all these things that you're doing, man, are like, man, they resonate so much with me. Like there's stuff that it's like, man, you must have been a brother of mine in another life, man. Like
exactly. No, that's why. So in Hawaiian Gold TV, it's a human optimization channel, but specializing in coverage on bodybuilding and fitness.
Okay.
And it's actually because we don't have people who are covering the sport and the art of bodybuilding in Hawaii. There's nobody, who's intentionally covering it.
There's Sean Ray's got 2 shows now, I think. Two shows now. 2 shows now. One in November, I think.
Yeah,
and one he just had.
The cool thing is I just spoke to Sean early this morning.
Okay.
And so
he and I are good buddies. We used to live like 30 minutes from each other.
Yeah. And so so he has NPC News Online who will be at his show, but for an at-home coverage like on island, Hawaiian Gold TV is going to be his coverage for his show, heading into the show, after the show, and having access to interview, because I mean, like, he's bringing down Curry, he's bringing down Kevin Levrone.
I know. He keeps asking me to come. He keeps asking me to come. Now I think I have to.
Wow, you should come down, dude, and I can interview. And so the whole thing is going to be, it's kind of an idea that I have, is that if Hawaiian Gold TV is going to be the exclusive island coverage of all the bodybuilding contests, that every bodybuilding contest have, like, how has like an Arnold Classic weekend, have a seminar, have a posing clinic, have a nutrition clinic, but have a round table of the IFBB pros who are coming down. So Curry, have Sean Ray, have you, have Levrone in a panel that everybody entering the show, all the athletes, all the people can come, and it's going to be open wide, ask questions without any limitations, ask on chemicals, ask on anything that like you want to ask, because that stuff is needed here, because a bunch of the bodybuilding here, even though it has like a lot of IFBB pros that are coming out of Hawaii, it's not anybody who is pretty significant, because our kind of in the IFBB, all pro cards are being handed out like candy now. and so it's not worth as much anymore, Well, unfortunately.
Well, there is a certain at the highest level, obviously, yes. You still have that same elite group, but you're right. There is a lot. Has been neutered down a little bit, and there is goods and bads with that.
Yeah.
The bad is exactly what you described, that that's a little bit more sort of watered down. But the good is that it's provided an avenue and an outlet for you and I and other people to be able to have careers and to be able to, I'm not complaining, right? Because it's a wonderful industry. And I get to travel the world and judge shows and do this stuff, which is like, hey, man, like, I'm not complaining, okay?
Exactly.
So, and it's wonderful. In fact, I never thought that would be possible growing up. I started bodybuilding in '85. I'm 48. I just turned 49, and so. Wow,
but you look good, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm trying to grow the beard out, which I got to get the gray out of it as soon as it gets a little longer. But no, I mean, when I started in '85, I never thought that'd be like I thought the only vocation here was to become Mr. Olympia. That's how I was going to be able to make my living.
Yeah.
But today, you don't even have to compete now.
Yeah, no, true.
So, what's the path is that you're going to use this Hawaiian Gold TV, use that as a way to be able to disseminate a more to really reach the audience there in Hawaii, but also other places too, I imagine, and other.
And so because it's a human optimization.
I like that human optimization. I like that.
Yeah. So because I got back into bodybuilding to be an optimized human. I didn't get back into bodybuilding to be a bodybuilder, because being a bodybuilder could, of course, it has its pros and cons, but it traps a lot of people in themselves. It traps so much people. Like.
Well, we talked about the focus on the internal, the spirit, but bodybuilding tends to make people, sometimes you get focused on the external, on the physicality, on what you can only see.
If people are not spiritually developed,
right,
that's all they'll look at.
I always wondered why I tracked the way I did, but it's because of this. I've always had to focus on all three elements in my life: my intellectual, my physical, and my spiritual.
Yes, and spiritual. Mm-hmm. No, and that's why in Hawaiian Gold TV, our kind of focus in terms of bodybuilding is going to be conscious bodybuilding.
Good.
Being healthy and actually understanding how your body works, and coming from the place of being actually being a coach of yourself, and actually understanding how you operate, and how the foods that help you to become optimal, because everybody's food is different. It really depends on the ethnic and cultural background. Everything plays a role.
I love the terminology human optimization, because you can do some funny things with that, like you want to be a hoe.
Yeah. I mean, like you can do all kind of stuff because it's the implication is just being optimal in every area of your life. In sex, in conversation, in communication, in business. So it's pretty broad, but at the same time, in Kingdom Health, it's actually a company that I introduced about 18 months ago and put on hold. It's a holistic company because I'm plant-based, bro. Yeah. And so this entire preparation, I did it vegan, basically.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that with people. I've had some Hindu clients and stuff like that over the years, and and it's hard. It's much more difficult. You just have to be much more meticulous, but it's hard. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. No, but the thing that I've learned in that process is that this was the best prep I have ever had. Tell people what you felt the distinction was, or the difference between prepping traditionally and prepping vegan. Okay. And so here's kind of like a small disclaimer. Because I'm half Aboriginal Hawaiian, I did implement every other week. I did have a fish meal.
Okay.
But how I ate it was how my ancestors ate it. So raw.
Okay.
Raw.
My favorite.
Yeah, raw.
My favorite, man. I don't want to cook it.
Yeah, raw, because I'm half Aboriginal Hawaiian. It's a part of the makeup in my.
So now I don't mean to interrupt, but you keep using the phrase Aboriginal Hawaiian. I've always heard Native Hawaiian. Is that the same thing?
Okay, so has about 3 terms that are commonly used. It's a Native Hawaiian, Indigenous Hawaiian, and Aboriginal Hawaiian.
But they all kind of mean the same thing.
No, so in our consciousness today, yes.
Okay.
But if you get into the terminology of it, actually being a Native Hawaiian is anybody who is born on Hawaiian soil, right? So anybody, is considered to be a person who is native to the land.
Okay.
I'm born there, a aina, a child of that land, 2 is an indigenous Hawaiian. Being indigenous means to originate from. So a plant and animals are oftentimes the only indigenous thing,
right.
Because it comes out of the earth.
Right.
Yeah. But Aboriginal means the first to arrive.
Okay.
Yeah. So us as human beings, in terms of recorded history, the only place that we are indigenous to is Africa.
Sure. That's where we all came from.
Yeah. And so the indigenous people of this planet are African. Yeah, they come out of Africa. Yeah.
So when you use the term indigenous Hawaiian, you mean that this is the land that you came from, so to speak?
If I speak about it, it's Aboriginal Hawaiian, because being an Aboriginal Hawaiian, because us as Aboriginal Hawaiians today, we come from Tahiti.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So each of our people and ancestors came from Tahiti at about 1100. Yeah, and so we are just Aboriginal,
Okay.
because had people that were here before us, and there are people that were here before them. Yeah.
Okay. Then I don't know what kind of Hawaiian my father had, because I gotta have that conversation with him.
well, if any person has Hawaiian blood,
yeah.
it's Aboriginal Hawaiian blood.
Okay, well that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to come back to Kingdom Health, so two of my projects in health and fitness is Hawaiian Gold TV and Kingdom Health. And in Kingdom Health, I actually created a product about 18 months ago. It's called the Greens of Greatness, which I will ship one to you.
It's called the Greens of Greatness?
It's called Greens of Greatness.
Wow, that's a cool name. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of in the Greens of Greatness, it's a high performance greens powder, and so has up to 15 superfoods. It's all organic, all plant based.
Ship me some. Ship me some of that. I do. I'll give you my address. Ship me some of that. I want some of that stuff. I want to try it.
Yes, I will. Yes. No, it's absolutely amazing, and I had to make sure that it tasted amazing, and so spent.
Did you use that on your prep?
Yes, always do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the function of the product? What's it designed? What was your intention for?
So how I created it up here was that I had a green shake and I had coffee every morning. I would take the green shake because I had to get alkalized and detoxified, and all that stuff every single day to get the pH balance in my body equal, level, help cortisol levels to just head down first thing in the morning, have clear thoughts, and everything in my systems to be able to just get operating. But I needed caffeine because I was like, it helped. It didn't taste good. And so I love coffee because I've actually been a coffee drinker ever since I was like 6. 6. So I would have a black coffee after, but I learned that every time I took black coffee, I had all the side effects of major brain fog, dehydration, stink breath, and I just couldn't think correctly. And because I've always had a speech impediment all of my life, I always stuttered all of my life.
Oh.
I realized that every time I drank coffee, it would I couldn't even talk because of the jitters, and I couldn't even talk. I was like, what is going on? And it was because of the coffee. So I thought, wow, how awesome would it be to bring the both together?
So that's what you did.
That's what I did. So in the Greens of Greatness, it had all the superfoods that had been in this greens drink here, and had a little bit of green coffee bean, all organic plant-based coffee bean, and it has no pesticides, is there any GMOs or anything, and I combined the two. And I tell you right now, I've had many people, an auntie and uncle of mine, but like a gramps of mine, who had high blood pressure, he had mean diabetes, high cholesterol. I put him on Greens of Greatness, and in 3 weeks in his checkup, everything was back to normal.
All right, I want some of this stuff. It
was absolutely amazing. And so I created this product in Kingdom Health, but I was approaching it being processing a packer. So how I was trying to package everything was basically like spiritual, that who I'm going to connect with is going to be all the people who are in the spiritual space, like all the yogis, to have this. But it was kind of Christianized. And so I really put it on hold. I put it on hold because I had to rethink how I was going to market it, because I was kind of lost. I didn't have capital at that time anymore. I spent all my capital on creating the product, creating my infrastructure, all that stuff, ran out of funding. And so I put the company on hold. And so I'm reintroducing it in a couple weeks. And how I'm reintroducing it is actually going to be through a clothing line, is Kingdom Health Athletics. And in our promo is going to be, if you buy 2 pieces of Kingdom Health Athletics, I will give you a Greens of Greatness for free, to head and try it out, see how you like it, hand us a review, and take pictures, and we'll put you on top of our feed. And Kingdom Health is going to be, our focus in Kingdom Health is promoting health consciousness in the Hawaiian Kingdom. That's why it's called Kingdom Health.
Okay.
And so I'm in the process of some cool collaborations with a couple companies here, and influencers here, to begin promoting health consciousness here and teaching it, and holistic healing, acupuncture, energy healing, all of this stuff, specifically for, of course, the people of Hawaii, but the specific people that I'm trying to hit is Hawaiian people, because the highest population of people that have cancer and diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease in the Hawaiian Islands is Aboriginal Hawaiians.
Why do you suppose that is? Does it have to do with the not being close to their native diet, or?
Yes, big time. And being kind of well, it's a whole other conversation about economic oppression, you know, of our kind of our whole just educational system, and having corporations be having a stigma on Hawaiian people. And so plenty of Hawaiian people, one, are on EBT or food stamps.
Oh, really?
And can't afford even food.
That stuff keeps you there, you know, when you get on the...
It keeps you there because it's comfortable. But if the health consciousness is not there, right, because EBT could be used at Whole Foods, you know, it could be used at Whole Foods, it could be used at other places. But if you don't have the health consciousness to understand how food relates and connects to your body and to your being, you're going to spend that EBT at the gas station and go buy Spam Musubis and Spam and all that stuff. And that's what Hawaiians are eating every single day.
I know.
And so our whole population is being deteriorated because our consciousness was almost eradicated. And so it's a mission I'm on, is to bring back health consciousness into our Hawaiian community, but into the people of Hawaii in Kingdom Health. And we add like a new age flair to it, like have killer athletic wear, you know, like looking good.
Well, there's something to be said for apparel, because I know like Aaron Singerman with Redcon One, I'm really close to. I used to coach him, and his company has been doing phenomenally well the last couple of years.
Phenomenal.
And a big push for him is his apparel, and it's really smart to get high quality apparel, link it to the company, and he sells a lot of apparel, actually, quite a bit, more than most people think. But it's good. It's like I got my Manion shirt on here, but underneath it is my Redcon One tank top that I worked out in. I got my Redcon One shorts on, and a lot of that is due to because I wear it not just because I support the company, because I do like their products, but because it looks good, it's comfortable, and it's automatic marketing, right? Like it's automatic billboard.
Because everybody needs clothes,
right?
You know,
and if you can marry the two together in some really good way, I think it'll be wonderful. Especially if you can capture this like Hawaiian, Native Hawaiian, or Aboriginal Hawaiian connection with and so because man, I'm proud to be fucking Hawaiian, man. Like, I mean, I'm also proud to be Japanese, but I'm really, really proud to be Hawaiian. It's within me. I resonate with it, and it's an energy that I know.
Brad has only about 500,000 people on this planet who have Hawaiian blood.
I know it's
about 500,000 people, bro.
I think I read somewhere that they said that by another 30 or so years, it's going to be that percentage, that number is shrinking so rapidly that it's going to be almost gone. Like we're going to be almost gone.
Yeah, it's kind of estimated in about 100 to 150 years that the highest percentage of Aboriginal Hawaiian people is going to be about 18% to 0.25% at most, you know, because there's I believe on record, there's under 2,000 to 3,000 pure Hawaiians alive.
Oh, really?
And there's under 80,000 who are half and above.
I think my father was half, which makes me a quarter.
Yes.
So,
but quarter is a lot, bro.
I found that out.
Quarter is a lot, bro, because man, you hardly come across people that even have a eighth.
Oh, really?
You know, and like has plenty of people who have a quarter. They're like, wow, quarter Hawaiian. Oh, me, I'm half Hawaiian.
Oh, wow,
that's a lot to people.
It's a ton.
You know, that's like, wow, you know, he's Hawaiian. You know, but I'm half white too. I kind of
feel like that's the reason why that I connect with the islands. It's not something that I intended. It's something that I felt.
I've been blessed with it.
Yes, I did not intend it, but I feel it. It's the reason why. It's probably the reason. It's why. I mean, everything that comes out of it, everything down from, man, I've been wanting to put together like a fire dancing team, dude. Like nobody's business, man. I think that if you put that together with and make it a little bit modern, it would be you could you could take that act on the road, bro.
everywhere.
And spread spread the culture and the love of the culture. Yeah, exactly. Connect.
Yeah, well, hey, man, that could be a business idea.
Hey, man. Yeah, man, think of it. A bunch of bodybuilders who look good, not...
No, that's true, exactly.
It's like, it would be great, but... hey, man, I can talk to you for hours, man. But I really, really appreciate the time.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Hey, Elijah, you are awesome, man. I definitely feel connected with you. I definitely feel like you're my brother. We're gonna stay in touch. We're gonna be doing some stuff together. I know it. I am down to do the optimization camp. You have my commitment. If you want me there, I'm there. But also any help you need, I want to just make a note. Any help you need, man, you let me know. I will be there for you to help you.
Thank you, brother.
Especially anything to do with the projects you're doing with the Hawaiian people, with Hawaiian consciousness, all those things, man. I'm there. It's
man,
me.
I appreciate you, brother. And however I can help you, my man, let's change the world, man. You know?
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Yeah, let's change the world. And even before things end, I want to take a picture of you. So smile, because I'm posting this on my Instagram. 1, 3, 2, 1. Yeah,
I'm gonna don't hang up when I stop recording, but because I'll talk to you for a couple seconds afterwards. But man, Elijah, thank you so much, man. You are just a delight to talk to, and it's just so much wonderful energy. I knew I was going to have a great conversation with you today. I just knew I was.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for all of your love and passion, my man.
And if anybody wants to get a hold of you, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, how they can reach out to you.
Okay. So just hop on Instagram at Elijia McShane TV is personal Instagram that I constantly put out some content on consciousness and thinking, and I have all my content. I'll be introducing on music as well, and just speaking and motivational speaking, inspirational teaching.
Your music, is it just, you said it's like R&B? Are you doing any Hawaiian music?
So I'll be introducing a fusion.
That's something, yeah.
Of crooner music, like like
Don Ho?
The tree of life, just pick me up from.
Oh, nice! You got a voice too. Awesome.
Yeah. So we're kind of introducing a kind of mix, but at first, to enter into the market, it's gonna be like an MJ Bruno Mars style.
Okay.
To enter into the international market.
If you had your hair different, you might look like him.
Yeah. The kind of ultimate kind of aim, it's a stepping stone in about 3 to 4 years, is to introduce a big show in Waikiki.
Oh, nice.
Actually called the Mana of Aloha show. Because,
nice. I like that.
Yeah. So that people around the world, like if you come to Hawaii, you have to come and see the Mana of Aloha, and so it's kind of an ambassador of Hawaii.
What a great name.
In all aspects. Huh?
What a great name for a show.
What a name.
Mana of Aloha. I just got chills, man, with that. I like that.
Yeah, so on Instagram at Elijia McShane TV. On top of our company Instagram is at Kingdom Health. Kingdom Health is just spelled that way, Kingdom Health. And at Hawaiian Gold TV for all of our optimization content, and on YouTube. So
awesome. Hey, Elijah, thank you so much, man. Don't stay on the line real quick, but thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, my man. Blessings.
All right. Aloha.
Handle your high with Tadayoshi.